Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Triple H has been WWE's Chief Content Officer for nearly 2 years. However, former WWE employee Tommy Carlucci predicted that a 61-year-old veteran could replace the game if TKO let the latter go. The veteran in question is none other than Bruce Pritchard. The former Brother Love is on his third run in the Stamford-based company. He is currently the executive director of SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. While Pritchard was considered a close associate of Vince McMahon, he remained in the company after the former chairman left. Speaking on the Behind the Turnbuckle podcast, Tommy Carlucci suggested the top executive could succeed Triple H as Chief Content Officer. While discussing potential replacements for the game, Carlucci claimed Pritchard is the most logical name, pointing out the veteran's qualities that qualify him for the job. I would say Bruce Pritchard. Now, if you're talking about a TKO guy, I don't know. I would think Bruce, because Bruce had TV production behind him. He knows all the boys, he negotiates contracts, I'm sure. I think he's probably Triple H's right-hand man. If Triple H stepped down, no doubt in my mind Nick Khan would appoint Bruce Pritchard, he said. From 25:33 to 25:58, WWE executive Bruce Pritchard was previously fired by Triple H's wife, Stephanie McMahon. During his second run in WWE, Bruce Pritchard had significant real-life heat with Triple H's wife, Stephanie McMahon. On an episode of his Something to Wrestle podcast, the 61-year-old veteran claimed his problems with the billion-dollar princess started when she returned from her first maternity leave because talent would go to him for script approval instead of her, which was initially Stephanie's role. The former Brother Love also pointed out that Vince's daughter seemingly felt he went over her head to her father because the latter would ask him for his input. Stephanie ended up firing Pritchard a week after they had a meeting. The current executive stated that he was given no official reason for his firing. Frankly, there was no official reason for the termination, other than I was just terminated and I let my attorney deal with them. There was never any official reason given other than I was terminated. I had my severance package laid out. I would rate my severance package good and fair. H/T Wrestling Inc. Pritchard disclosed that he is now on good terms with the billion-dollar princess. While the wrestling veteran continues to work closely with Stephanie's husband, Triple H, she is no longer with WWE. The shocking return, a WWE veteran's unexpected comeback. In a twist no one saw coming, the wrestling world was set ablaze by the latest rumors swirling around WWE. The whispers grew louder as backstage sources hinted at a seismic shift within the company's upper echelons. A 61-year-old veteran, long thought to be in WWE's past, was rumored to be stepping into a role that could redefine the future of the organization. The former legend, known for his influence and creative genius during WWE's golden era, was allegedly being eyed as the replacement for none other than Triple H as WWE's Chief Content Officer, CCO. The bombshell? This move was purportedly orchestrated by none other than Stephanie McMahon herself, the very person who had once fired him. The fallout between Triple H and TKO since the historic merger between WWE and Endeavor's UFC to form TKO Group Holdings, there had been growing concerns about the future of WWE's creative direction. Triple H, who had been instrumental in shaping the current era of WWE with his creative vision, had seemingly found himself at odds with the new leadership. Reports emerged that his creative direction did not align with TKO's vision for WWE, causing friction at the highest levels. As a result, rumors began to circulate that TKO was considering parting ways with Triple H. The idea of losing someone of his stature seemed unthinkable to many, yet the whispers persisted. Triple H, whose influence was undeniable, had always been seen as the heir apparent to Vince McMahon's legacy. However, in this new era, where corporate interests and entertainment priorities were being reevaluated, even his position was not immune. The veteran, a surprising choice into the veteran, a man who had been away from WWE for years, seemingly forgotten by the newer generation of fans, but revered by those who remembered his contributions. His name was never far from discussions about WWE's creative heights during the 90s and early 2000s. Yet, his exit from the company had been abrupt and unceremonious, the result of behind-the-scenes conflicts that led to Stephanie McMahon showing him the door. Now, it appeared that Stephanie had orchestrated his return, potentially to replace her own husband. This veteran had a reputation for being a maverick, someone who wasn't afraid to push boundaries and challenge norms. His age didn't seem to be a deterrent. In fact, it was seen as an asset. With decades of experience and a deep understanding of the wrestling business, he was considered by some to be the perfect candidate to steer WWE into its next chapter, especially if TKO was serious about making bold changes. The ex-employee's revelation, an ex-WWE employee who had once worked closely with both Triple H and this veteran, provided an insider's perspective on the unfolding drama. In a candid interview, they shed light on the tension brewing within WWE's ranks and the possible implications of such a dramatic leadership change. Triple H has done an incredible job with WWE's creative direction, but there's a growing feeling that his ideas might not align with where TKO wants to take the company, the ex-employee explained. If TKO decides to let him go, bringing back someone like Veteran's Name could be their way of ensuring the transition is as seamless as possible. He's someone who knows the business inside out, and despite the way things ended with him and Stephanie, he's never lost his passion for wrestling. The ex-employee went on to suggest that this veteran's return might not be as surprising as it seemed. There's a reason he's being considered. WWE is at a crossroads, and they need someone who can bring a fresh yet experienced perspective. Veteran's Name has that rare combination of old-school wisdom and the ability to adapt to modern audiences. If anyone can fill Triple H's shoes, it's him. The potential fallout, the news of this potential shift in power sent shockwaves through the WWE universe. Fans were divided. Some were excited at the prospect of seeing the veteran's influence back in WWE, while others were concerned about what this might mean for the future of their favorite superstars and storylines. For those who remembered his previous run, the veteran was a creative force who had helped define some of WWE's most iconic eras. He was responsible for some of the most memorable storylines and characters that had become part of wrestling lore. However, his exit had left a bitter taste, and many wondered if his return would be met with resistance from those who had thrived under Triple H's leadership. Meanwhile, Triple H's potential departure raised questions about his future in the wrestling industry. Would he step away from WWE altogether, or would he take his talents elsewhere, perhaps to another wrestling promotion looking to capitalize on his creative genius? The possibilities were endless, and the speculation was rampant. Stephanie's masterstroke? If this move was indeed orchestrated by Stephanie McMahon, it would be seen as a masterstroke by some and a betrayal by others. Rehiring the very man she had once fired could be viewed as an admission that his talents were too valuable to ignore, even if it meant sidelining her own husband. On the other hand, it could also be seen as a pragmatic decision, one that put the future of WWE above personal loyalties. The future of WWE, as the rumors continued to swirl, WWE's future hung in the balance. The potential replacement of Triple H with this veteran would mark a significant turning point for the company. It could signal a return to the kind of bold, risk-taking storytelling that had defined WWE's golden years, or it could lead to a clash of creative visions that could either reinvigorate or destabilize the brand. One thing was certain, the WWE universe was in for a wild ride. Whether this veteran's return would lead to a resurgence of WWE's glory days or create a new era of uncertainty, only time would tell. But for now, the wrestling world watched with bated breath, waiting to see if the past would indeed become the future.